Hello， 大家好。今天呢，我们来聊一聊一场在加密圈很有料的对话。嘉宾是方舟投资的 Cathie Wood， 还有 Binance 的创始人 CZ 赵长鹏。CZ 呢是加密行业非常有经验的老炮吧。另外呢，他自己本人在加密行业呢从业经验也非常的久。在这次播客中啊，他们两个人非常务实的分享了一些行业的核心观点，也就是加密行业他们各自的一些看法。主要呢是 Cathie Wood 的提问，CZ 呢回答。这期呢我主要是分享 CZ 的一些观点。CZ 呢在这次播客中啊，他分享了一些他自己的一些真实观察，比如加密行业哪些发展的比他想象中要快，哪些呢可能在行业内呢并没有发展达到了预期。接下来呢，我侧重把 CZ 的几个核心观点用自己的话给大家做拆解。如果有对他们这场播客感兴趣的小伙伴，可以看一看他的原声音频，链接呢我放在了视频的介绍栏。
Sure. I think there's a lot of things that are a little bit different from what I would have predicted years ago, right? I would have thought payments would have taken off by now. It hasn't really. Like most people don't use crypto for payments. Now there's a crypto cards people use. The merchants doesn't know it's a crypto card. It's like a Visa or MasterCard. And then users can pay in crypto. Also unexpected was the fast institutional participation in crypto over the last year, especially in the US. I mean, a year and a half ago, I think US was relatively anti-crypto, right? There was a war on crypto declared by Senator Elizabeth Warren. I was put in jail under the Biden administration. I was very surprised. Yeah, so I think Larry definitely has his pull, especially in the traditional markets. And he also has pull with global world leaders, right? When BlackRock says, when the CEO of BlackRock says, this and that, is viewed number one by country leaders around the world, by other financial institutions, and traditional institutional capital as well. So I think he definitely had that pull. Also, he had the foresight that everything will be tokenized and there's enough volume, right? To be very frank, even though I worked in traditional finance before, but I don't really understand the industry at the level that Larry understands in terms of money markets. I was a tech guy, right? So I think him understanding it and also him supporting it both really helps. And I think, and also now we're seeing the convergence of the two, what we call the Wall Street or traditional finance versus the crypto industry. It should just be one industry. It should just be one industry using either old or new technologies to facilitate trade, to facilitate access, right? So what I didn't expect is because Binance have 320 million users now. Those users actually do want, and also as I mentioned before, right? So there's actually a little bit of a lack of good assets in crypto today, right? So in the last 4 years, there hasn't been a lot of strong projects. So you can trade memes, you can trade meme coins all you want, but that's one category. Right now, when the tokenized assets become available to crypto investors worldwide, even gold, people trade it. And also because of the geopolitical tension, right? So there's a lot of volatility. I think oil is going to see that as well. So I think it's just a timing and also the, Larry Fink bringing the traditional industry into this crypto area. All of that helps.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Our experience with Bitcoin, especially, Larry Fink was dead set against it when we put out our first white paper in 2050. And Jamie Dimon.
Everyone.
Yes, everyone. So it was one of the reasons I think we developed such visibility out there in the social world broadly, because crypto conversations were taking place in the social world. So it's been serendipitous for us, and we're delighted to have the traditional financial players joining the momentum. And I'd like to just ask you on that. Do you think that the traditional financial world and players are embracing crypto today because they think it's going to lower their costs and take out a lot of friction in the system, a friction which actually benefits them from a profitability point of view? Or do you think they're embracing it because they see how much financial activity will be stimulated by this technology?
Eventually, it might be it might be a winner take most, but at the same time, I think in the short term, we'll see a lot more competition than consolidation, because historically we have had consolidation. Because historically, it's quite difficult to do a stable coin. A year before the Trump administration, right? So governments all around the world are pretty hostile to crypto, and for years, Tether did not reveal their bank account. Right? Whenever they reveal their bank account, that bank account gets shut down. So Tether somehow was able to maintain a bank account with a large number of assets in there, while the U.S. government is trying to shut them down, right? So that's like a real hard skill.
Yes.
That's really hard to do. Till this day, I don't know how they manage that, and somehow they were able to manage that, and most other people cannot. So that's why they're large. But now I believe that barrier is gone. That moat, that problem is not existent now. Now anyone can issue a stable coin. You can get a bank account. You can get a bank to support you. You can get audited. It's one-to-one backed. So now the barrier to issue a stable coin is much, much lower. But the trick about adoption is like, how do you get your stable coin to be adopted? Everyone using it. That's a marketing adopting growth challenge, which many businesses will be able to overcome. And especially if they can offer better incentives than Tether, then I think, that's why I think in the short term, we will see many different stable coins. And also, we're only talking about US dollar-based stable coins, right? Many other countries will want to issue their own currency-backed stable coins, because right now, the US dollar stable coins increases the US dollar dominance globally. Many other countries want to slightly increase their own currencies, China being one, other countries. Every country wants to see their currency being used by the world to the extent possible. Also, US dollar stablecoins typically use US treasuries. So this is an indirect way to sell US bonds to the global crypto population. So most other countries will want to do the same thing too. Every country wants to sell the government bonds, right? So I know many countries who actually talk to me saying, look, they want to raise more money, right? So they want to have more investments into the country. Selling bonds through stable coins is one of those indirect ways, but a very effective ways to do so. So I think in the short term, we will see a lot more stable coins. Whether long term is going to be one winner take all depends. There are network effects, so possibly, but then the barriers for stable coins is not high. So I think many people keep trying.
Why do you think we haven't seen local, non-USD denominated stable coins? Like we have the Euro stable coin that is, tiny. We had a Mexican peso stable coin. Is it because structurally, like the on-off ramps are not just, as efficient as with USDT or USDC, or just users, they don't want the local currency maybe, and they want access to $2?
Based on my limited understanding, I believe the main reason was it's too expensive to do. So my understanding of the Euro stablecoins, the Euro, I'm not an expert in this, but this is just what I heard anecdotally from other stablecoin projects. It's quite expensive to do the Euro stablecoin. They require a very large insurance policy. They require a very large capital allocation. It's just very expensive to do. So it's just very difficult for a startup to do it. And then basically you have to commit hundreds of millions of dollars upfront to be able to do a EUR stablecoin. And then the market is not quite there yet. So because it's non-existent, most people are very comfortable trading in US dollar based stablecoins. So it's a chicken and egg problem. In Mexico, it might be a banking access issue. In different countries, the issue is a little bit different, I think. Many people try to do the RMB, like Chinese RMB stablecoin. But again, banking support there is tricky. Hong Kong just issued 2 stablecoin licenses to HSBC and Standard Chartered Bank. So we'll see how that does. But banks typically move very cautiously and very slowly. So they may not be as crypto native as some of the crypto native stablecoins, right? So so far, the others have not taken off. So now this actually gives the US dollar a huge advantage. But others are trying to catch up. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
CZ, you've had some very interesting takes on quantum. I know you've seen the papers, the quantum thread and Bitcoin. I mean, obviously, we all work in the crypto industry, but Binance is a huge holder of many of these cryptos. What do you think the timeline is there? And are we, too worried, like not enough?
number one, I'm not an expert in this area. So I know just about as much as anybody who's reading the news. But I do think that I did talk to some people very recently, some like young tech people who are more familiar with the situation. My gut feeling is this. My gut feeling is cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin will upgrade properly. Right? What we do with the Satoshi coins is we'll figure it out. I think we'll give them a year, 2 years to move it. If it doesn't, but hopefully before somebody cracks the address, we will freeze it or we'll burn it or however we will do. I think that is probably more of a philosophical community vote thing. People don't, especially with Bitcoin maxis, they don't want the centralization. But if there's a community vote, we can probably figure it out. And I also think there's an element of advertising in Google's claims, right? So look, if you're researching this thing, what's the saying? People are usually more optimistic about what they can achieve in 1 year and underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. So, I mean, if you're a team working on quantum computing right now, I mean, I'm sure they're making very good progress, but they forecast 2029, right? So those forecasts are typically a bit optimistic, right? I mean, we've been in IT for a while. We're typically, when you hear a completion date, you pat it for a bit. So it's good marketing. It's also good awareness for the industry to sort of react to it and move on and address it, right? So I do think we need to address it. So I'm not too worried about it. I think more computing power is always good. And there's already like quantum proof encryption algorithms. So we just have to move to those. I don't think it's not a problem without a solution. But you just need coordination. So I don't know who's going to coordinate it. Some core Bitcoin devs will coordinate that. Most likely, though, a bunch of other blockchains may upgrade first. Some of the other blockchains who has much more what we call centralization, right? Vitalik can propose something for Ethereum. Some people will adopt it. Justin Sun just proposed something for Tron yesterday. He posted it yesterday. BNB, we can look at BNB and how to improve that. And maybe some of the other protocols will go first, and then we'll deal with Bitcoin.
Yeah. As we always say, half of the solution is understanding the problem. And it seems like we understand the problem, if there is one, and we agree with you in terms of timeline. Before we go, just wanted to get your take on where you think Bitcoin is now. Is this the 4-year cycle and we're cycling through and getting ready for another run? And just wanted to also clarify something that I said vis-a-vis Binance on one of the news shows. Around the time of the flash crash on 10/10, we know there was a software glitch, but Binance did not trigger the flash crash. I want to make sure everyone understands that we know Binance did not. There was a lot of tariff turmoil once again, and the markets were very jumpy. It may have exacerbated it, but we think we're through the ramifications of that. Do you think that Bitcoin will see new highs? Are you still bullish Bitcoin?
Sure. No, number one is I appreciate you for saying that. I'm not sure if you even know that that line you said was quoted very heavily in Chinese media.
Oh my gosh!
Your picture was all over the Chinese media, and then people were complaining about Binance caused the October 10 crash, etc. And they used that little video clip. So I'm really glad you said that now and clarified that.
And I didn't even know that.
That's what I figured. I think, look, you do a podcast. Now people say things and then they get taken out of context, right? You do a podcast, you can't explain all the disclaimers, etc. And then, but people use your clip very, very heavily, especially in the Chinese communities. But it's okay. I think we're past that. I think there's still two forces happening right now. I don't know which one's going to win first. So we've seen Bitcoin drop a bit into 2026, right? That will follow the 4-year cycle, right? So 2022 was a bear year. Now 2021 was a bull year. So 2025 was a bull year. 2026, we've seen a drop. But there's two other things that are very positive for crypto. One is with the President Trump is going to, he views the stock market as his benchmark, right? He's going to do everything in his power to improve the stock market. when the stock market does well, crypto will do well. When stock markets do well, people have people have more money. They have more free cash, and they'll diversify into crypto. And so when markets go well, they go well together. And also with the geopolitical tension, there's actually people realize late, right? So gold did well. And then now gold kind of is going up and down a bit, highly volatile, but gold is very active. Bitcoin should be very active, right? So we've seen Bitcoin drop, but now in the last couple of days, Bitcoin is coming back up to 75, 74, 75-ish. So I think the stock market doing well will be very positive for Bitcoin and for crypto in general. So I think that force will probably come very strong before the midterm, because before the midterm, Trump's going to do everything he can. Like that would be logical to me, right? I don't know him. Well, I've never spoken to him. But the U.S. market has a lot of influence on other markets, in crypto, global markets, etc. So I'm still very hopeful that this year might turn out different. That this recovery might be slightly faster than the historic bear market recoveries. And also Bitcoin already hit 60,000 something, right? So that's kind of the support from the last all-time high. So I think I'm hoping that the worst part is over, but don't quote, this is not financial advice.
Yeah. No, we have to say that all the time as well. But I do think what is supporting it is in the TradFi world, institutional support, because institutions have been hearing about this 4-year cycle thing and trying to learn it and understand it. So heck, they waited for a correction like this. And so now they are starting to move in, it seems to us, based on our flows. They're starting to move in more now than they have been in the last couple of years.
Yeah. And you're very correct about the institutions. Most institutions, once they hold, the institutions make decisions much slower. They have committees, that make decisions together, right? And when they get in, they don't get out within a month, right? It takes them like a month to buy like $1 billion, and they're not going to get out in a month. They will hold for multiple years. So most institutions are long-term holders. With them coming into the ETFs, that's really going to stabilize the price and hopefully cause it to increase. I'm very optimistic. So as always.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we share your optimism. And we're very grateful that you agreed to do this FYI with us. I think this is going to be one of our best.
I'm very, very happy to.
第一个 CZ 聊到的是，目前机构参与加密的速度已经远超预期。CZ 说，他自己完全没有想到机构入场会这么快。要知道1年半以前美国还在打压加密，现在呢态度直接是180度的大转弯，大量的机构资金正在快速的涌入，监管也从压制开始转向支持。解读一下， CZ 认为目前加密行业并不是一个小众的投机市场，目前主流的金融机构正在进入加密，整个加密行业呢也更成熟，带来了更多的长期资金。要知道主流的金融机构进入带来的是更多的长期资金和非常大的加密资金体量。总之呢，就是目前加密行业已经从野蛮生长进入了一个金融机构参与的规范市场，或者说这个市场正在更加规范。第二个 CZ 聊到的是加密支付发展慢于预期，但是呢这种跨国交易的潜力是巨大的。CZ 说，加密支付的发展没有他之前想象的那么快，大家还是习惯用信用卡和 Visa， 但是他认为在跨国转账和 AI 代理人大量交易的场景下，加密的优势会非常的明显。这里呢也解读一下， CZ 认为加密支付的落地可能还需要更长的时间来检验，但是他对加密在全球高效的转账，另外就是 AI 场景中加密支付有天然的优势，这个潜力是信心很大的。当然了，这个观点呢，或者是他的这个预期可能需要时间的检验。第三个 CZ 聊到的是稳定币增长会超出预期，成为行业的重要支柱。 CZ 说，稳定币的发展远远超出了他当初的预期，已经从一个简单的避险工具变成了一个规模非常巨大的市场。现在不同的稳定币之间的竞争也越来越激烈， 解读一下 ，CZ 说稳定币是连接传统货币和加密世界的重要的桥梁，并且现在稳定币的爆发式发展也印证了目前资本市场的需求非常强劲，而且他认为稳定币在未来会更加的融入主流。第四个 CZ 聊的是传统资产上链正在加速，传统金融和加密正在快速融合。CZ 提到，现在 Binance 已经是传统市场之外最大的黄金交易平台之一，并且 Binance 还能交易石油。传统金融和加密并不是对立的两个世界，而是正在慢慢融合到一个系统里面。解读一下，资产上链是大的趋势，未来大家呢不会区分这是传统的金融还是加密行业，因为它未来会变成一个统一的金融系统。换句话说，大家可以在 Binance 上交易加密货币，也可以交易传统的类似黄金这样的大宗资产，甚至是传统的股票。另外呢，就是大家也可以在传统的券商，也就是从交易股票也可以去交易加密资产，甚至是加密衍生金融产品。未来传统金融和加密货币交易所这样的一个界限会越来的越低。第五个 CZ 聊的是区块链技术正在压缩费用，刺激交易量爆发，传统的金融机构如果不跟进，就可能会被淘汰。虽然短期利润会受到影响，但长期来看，交易量会大幅增加，最终大家会受益。解读一下 ，CZ 认为目前呢区块链技术呢在费用上是有优势的，并且这种低费用的优势呢已经开始从传统金融里面带来竞争。他提醒这些传统的金融机构，比如一些传统的券商或者是传统的支付公司，这些传统的支付通道呢，或者是传统的交易平台，因为手续费和服务费用的问题，正在被区块链技术呢所挑战。未来呢，他建议就是大家可以把支付的成本降低，但是呢，更多的用户和更多的交易量会让区块链或者是传统金融机构都受益。当然，这里我也说一下，目前传统行业或者是区块链技术的一个渗透吧，带来交易量的增长，这是一个不争的事实。另外呢，就是以后呢，传统的金融机构或者平台，包括区块链的加密交易所，其实在盈利方式上可能会慢慢的变成零服务费或者零手续费，更多的呢可能会发展或者是去研究其他的盈利模式。第六个 CZ 聊到的是 AI 会加速加密创新和应用的开发。Cathie 的问 AI 会不会推动加密下一波创新， CZ 给出了肯定的回答。他说 AI 能快速写代码，大幅的加快开发的速度，同时 AI 代理人未来会产生比人类多得多的交易，这会给整个行业带来巨大的推动。解释一下， CZ 说 AI 不是加密的威胁，恰恰相反，他说 AI 是强大的加速器，它会让所有的应用开发的更快，门槛也更低。另外呢，也会带来交易频率的大幅提升。这种 AI 的快速发展会对加密行业甚至是传统行业都带来巨大的机会。第七个 CZ 聊到的是交易所的未来会走向 Everything Exchange。CZ 认为未来的交易所会往 Everything Exchange 的方向发展，就是用户可以在同一个平台交易股票、加密甚至期货这些衍生金融，中心化和去中心化会长期并存。解释一下， CZ 认为交易所之间的竞争不再是比谁的手续费低，而是会比谁能够提供更全面更方便的一站式服务。也就是说，不管是 Binance 还是 Robinhood， 大家都可以交易所有的金融产品。这个时候不管是传统的还是区块链交易所，大家比拼的是服务和提供一站式的全面的金融产品。第八个 CZ 聊到的是稳定币。 CZ 强调稳定币不应该把所有的收益都自己吃掉，应该把一部分的稳定币收益分给用户。虽然 Tether 目前还没有这么做，但未来竞争对手一定会这么干，这对所有的用户是好事。解释一下， CZ 认为在未来稳定币行业呢会越来越竞争激烈，当然用户的体验也会越来越好。他认为在未来用户持有稳定币不仅仅是保值避风险，还可以获得稳定币的理财收益。随着稳定币行业的竞争加剧，后面进入的一些稳定币发行商会把这部分稳定币的收益呢给用户做分享，这是一个趋势。 OK， 上面就是CZ 和 Cathie 的在这期播客的一些核心观点，主要是 CZ 的一些核心观点。 总的来说 ，CZ 在这场对话中传递的信号非常明确，比如加密行业正在从早期的野蛮生长，逐步走向机构化、基础设施化，还有大规模的应用。机构呢参与的程度和速度比他想象的要快。另外就是稳定币和上链资产发展超出了他的预期。还有就是 AI 会成为下一波区块链创新的最大的加速器。听到这里，不知道您认不认同 CZ 的一些观点？如果感兴趣 CZ 的这期原声播客，可以点击视频的介绍栏中的链接自行查看。觉得有帮助的小伙伴记得点赞关注，我们下期继续聊。